More money, you got less problems. At least minor ones, all your basics accounted for. Team elite I run with, I'm guaranteed to be Final Four. Less money, you got more problems. More money, you got less problems. At least.
Good evening, Albany community. Welcome to Back, bringing Albany community's knowledge. Thank you for tuning in again with us tonight. I do have, I know this is a common thread. I end up saying I get a chance to interview a childhood friend, but it's just the truth of the matter. So Albany community tonight, we have Mr. OMG himself, Shawn Floss Cooks. He's going to allow us to go ahead and dive into his story, find out his Albany love story and the things that he loves about Albany and why he's such a dedicated a member of the community here. So first things first, welcome to Back, Floss. Which one you want me to go by? Mr. OMG, Shawn, Floss, Mr. Cooks? How you like
it? Mr. OMG Floss.
Okay.
It don't matter, man, really, man. Whatever you feel comfortable saying, you know what I'm saying? I go by all of them, you know, so whatever's comfortable for you, they all still me.
Okay, good. Listen, well, I'm sure throughout the interview, I'll probably be calling you a little bit of everything.
All right. I'm cool with that.
Well, thank you for extending your time with me tonight. And like I told you before off air, I think that you have a powerful story, brother, that will resonate with so many people in our community. So thank you for extending me your time tonight.
No, I appreciate you having me, man. For real.
Okay. Well, listen, man, I'm gonna give you my first unofficial question. It's just about February now, so pretty much we've been quarantining for a full year. So, how have you been surviving during this global pandemic? How have you and the family been surviving during COVID? Have you guys been doing anything interactive, creative to not let boredom sneak in and take over everything? How have you guys been surviving during a quarantine, man?
Well, it's had its ups and downs, not being able to do as much as we want to do with the kids, as outside wise. But as far as inside, it's like you said, it's been boring sometimes, but it's actually helped us to get a little closer, get it more intimate. Like I'm always on a go between both jobs, you know what I'm saying? So I'm always out, but being that there were times where we had to work from home, I was there a lot more, but that had its ups and downs too. Because when you're trying to work, you got the kids there. People think it's just easy. Like, okay, I can just get up on my belly, so I don't gotta go nowhere. Yeah, you have that. You have that luxury, but you still have to work. And when you're trying to raise a family, you got the kids that's home at the same time as you. You trying to work, and they need this or they need that. Mommy this, daddy that. So it becomes a little overwhelming. That's what I would say most. It's very overwhelming. Trying to do two things at one time. Trying to be a parent and also trying to work too and get things done. So but it definitely made us a lot closer. I'm able to spend more time with my kids. At that point in time, I'm back out working in the field. But like I said, it had its ups and downs. It had its good and its bad things with it, but not so much bad. But just it was overwhelming. I say that because I ain't gonna front. Being in the house, I love my kids to death, but
Listen, man, I understand 100%. It's impossible to try to get work done with young kids going around. I empathize for all of the parents who also have to homeschool too. I mean, while their kids are doing Zoom and all of that stuff, it's impossible. It'd be like, yo, man. And then your job is still expecting you to be able to perform the same way you would do if you were by yourself. It's like, well, I'm not by myself,
Right. But it's I must say, like that was just the little obstacle with it. But I have a better respect now for the not that I didn't have that much respect for them before, but even greater respect for the daycares, the school system and everything. Because trying to be a teacher and be a parent and working at the same time, it brings a lot. But it was a little
every year I give daycare providers a nice gift when it comes time to Christmas. My wife always be like, man, you give some expensive gifts. Be like, listen, because they taking care of you.
really doing. We've been blessed to have, you know, some good daycare providers. So, you know, I'm grateful for that. But yes,
okay,
it's been a little. I just say for the most overwhelming at times, but
okay,
we take it all in stride. You know.
Okay. Well, listen. First things first, man. I'm glad you and the family have been safe, and you guys are surviving during this global pandemic. And I'm gonna get to the thick of the questions for you. My first question for you tonight, Mr. OMG, is what are you doing now? What kind of work do you do, or any type of passion projects or endeavors that you're working on? Shawn, Floss, Cooks, Mr. OMG himself, here's your opportunity to tell the Albany community about you.
Do you want me to dip into my past to the present, or just what I'm doing now?
Pretty much. What kind of work do you do now? You know,
Okay.
I know, but the Albany community, everyone in the Albany community might not know. And then what kind of things are you most passionate about now? Because, you know, I know you got your hands intertwined in a lot of different projects. Yeah.
Right. So I am a outreach worker for the 518 SNUG, but my main job, first job, is that I'm a inspector for Section 8 in housing.
Nice.
So I've been with them for going on 7 years. I've been with SNUG for about 3 years, maybe a little over. I love both my jobs. You know, I'm community based with both of them. I'm in the community, whether it be just doing someone's inspection or, you know, doing my outreach work with kids and the individuals in the community. The one I'm most passionate about is my SNUG job. You know, it can be a little overwhelming as well, but I'm more passionate because I can relate. I'm in the field, I'm in the streets, you know, trying to you know, help with the reduce of gun violence, you know, and it is a part of my past, you know, so I can relate more to the individuals that I deal with, you know, and it brings more passion to me because it took me a while to change my lifestyle from what it was in the past, and dealing with other people brings me more pride with helping others, that how I got help. You know, back in the day, we didn't have a whole lot of people that was out there pushing us to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. You know, I had a few people that were in my ear, but, you know, I was hard headed, but we have so much more. Me being coming from that era, I try to be more hands on in that field, because you ain't gonna reach everyone, but it's definitely if you get one, you know, it's rewarding.
Okay. Yeah. Listen, man, one thing I tell everybody is, like, you know, one of the best things we could do just as human beings is just be an example ourselves. And I'm saying that from the outside looking in, man. I think that your transition, I think that what you're doing day in and day out is extremely positive, and it's healthy to see it, because it's like so many times we think that we have to be what everybody else expects us to be. And sometimes, you know, we buy into that ourselves. You know, it was the same thing for me. It was like, shit, coming up, I was doing the same exact thing. Hey, listen, man, I'm gonna be like my older brother. I'm gonna be running the streets with everybody that he ran the streets with, and this is the path. But then it'd be like, you know what? You start to see where that path gets you, or where that path is leading you, and you'd be like, I gotta figure something else out. So, you know, I mean, shout out to you, Mr. OMG, because like you said, man, it's like it would have taken, I think, less of you to decide to stay where you were. It takes more of you to decide to challenge yourself to build a whole nother empire in another avenue of life. And, you know, I mean, I'm a fan of you, brother. So I love the work that you're doing, especially with SNUG. I think SNUG is dope. Because you guys literally put yourselves on the front line where everybody else might be in the comfort of their homes, you know what I mean? But I've seen so many dynamic people come through the SNUG program and put their imprints on that program, yourself included, and you're a huge advocate for the community. And we need people that look just like us. because
Exactly.
the more people can see you getting up every day, going to go work, busting your butt and taking care of your families, is like, yo, you know what? I can do that same thing. You know what I mean? I can do the same thing, as opposed to not seeing it.
And that's exactly what I try to show, the change that you can be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Want those that are going down that certain path, or that they just haven't gotten it yet. Because when we were younger, we looked up to a lot of the gangsters, a lot of the hustlers. You know what I'm saying? Those are who we thought was heroes, or who we wanted to emulate. And be like. So I try to show them, that that's not always the route that you have to take, because a lot comes with that route. A lot comes with that route, whether it's death, jail, losing a loved one, or what I'm saying, someone that you really care about. It's heartache and pain coming through that way of lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So you don't always have to go that route to achieve something, to feel like you have something, because all we see was the flashiness and the cars and the females, and people. It's easy to try to adapt to that, because we don't look at the bus driver, the crossing guard, the teacher as someone that's respectable. We look at the ones in the streets. And that's what attracts us. So, but I try to change that narrative with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay, it's cool. I understand it. I'm not gonna say that you because there are good people that are in the streets too, but they just haven't came out. I've met really good dudes. They still do what they do, but that's just not a way for me. You know what I'm saying? And I can't knock nobody else for what they do, but I definitely want to show the youth that that's not the only option. Just because you come from the hood, that's not your only option.
There you go. And that's it, man. Like I said, man, I know everybody. I know people from, I know millionaires. I know people from the underground. I know everyone in the streets, from the work world, you name it, educators, I know them too. And it's just like, I really do believe that the more we see people that look like us, it presents more of an opportunity. Doesn't mean that anyone's going to necessarily go this route, but at least it'll give you an opportunity. You can't say that I never seen a Tyrell. You know what I mean? I never seen a Mr. OMG. I never seen, like, Albany has some dope people, fam. Like I said, and it's a small community, but a lot of times, like you said, man, we're not paying homage to the bus driver. We're not paying homage to the garbage man. We're not paying homage to all of those things until we get to a point where we realize what we have been told is real. You know what I mean? We got to change that perception of what we have chased of being real. I remember doing a documentary years ago with my man Peyton, and we were going through Graceland Cemetery, right? And that was
not too long ago.
Yeah, listen. When we did that had to have been at least maybe about 9 years ago or something like that, maybe longer. But either which way, and it was just like, at that point, I had already had so many family members and friends that was up in there. And it's just like, and that number just constantly rises. And it's just like, and I remember saying in the documentary, it was just like, we got to change the perception. We got to change the reality, because all of the things that we've been told as young men or young women growing up in this community is that, you got to do this way to stay real. We got to start changing that perception of, what being real looks like. Being real is being able to survive. Being real is being able to provide for your family and not being a financial burden to other things. And being real is just, I tell everybody right now, I love what was a word I used to say it? The corny life. I love the corny life.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Life.
Yep, the square life. Yep. Listen, I love it. You know why? I ain't got to look over my shoulder.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I can come home and be at peace, and I can try to give peace. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I take that any day.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I totally agree. Because when you sitting up in a situation where you behind them walls and fences, the square life don't seem that boring anymore. That's what the person want to say. Like, damn, I don't mind being Joe Blow or being that square. You know what I'm saying? Because you find yourself in a situation. It's like, man, maybe it wasn't so bad to be that on that side. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know, I try to get to the ones that I can get to, so they don't have to go through that situation. You know how Hove, he said Hove did that, so hopefully you wouldn't have to go through that.
Don't do that.
So it's like, you know, I went through my trials and tribulations, and do I have any regrets? I try not to, because it molded me into the person that I am today. You know what I'm saying? How can a person appreciate the sunshine if they never walk through the rain? You know? So whatever I went through it. At the time, did I want to go through it? Of course not. You know, but I wouldn't be the person I am today if I hadn't go through the ups and downs and the struggles. God sat me down a couple of times, like, listen, but he gave me another shot. You know what I'm saying? I'm still here. A lot of our friends and family members aren't here to say that. You know, they're gone. And, you know, you don't get a second chance from death. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm just grateful and blessed that, you know,
real talk.
He brought me through it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and a lot of it can be avoided, man. A lot of it can be avoided. You know what I mean? And I remember watching 50 Cent on Oprah's Masterclass, right? He talked about, he was just like, if he could change anything, he was like, he said, to be honest, he was just like, he wished that he could have shortened his path to get to being the businessman that he is today. Because he was just like, it wasn't that I didn't have all of these ideas before. It was just like, you know, I didn't have a path. I didn't see an avenue of how to get there. So I had to go through all of the street stuff, you know what I mean, in order to become the business juggernaut that he is today. And it's like, a lot of times, you know, like you said, we got to go through this situation. Sometimes you got to get hit in your head, or sometimes you got to be sat down in order to realize, like, that way is not the way. You know what I mean? Or, you know what I mean? I'm tired of that way, and let me figure out another thing. You know what I mean?
An OG once told me, said that, you know, it was like, I can see clearly now the rain is gone, you know, and all that is, and a lot of times we use that, it's from a song, and, you know, it's cliche, but you know, when you're not in the thick of it, you're not in that, you're taken away from that environment, or you're taken away from that situation, you can think clearer. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that, you know, a person has been in prison, it's just because it's chaos there. But you can sometimes you can sit and reevaluate things you were doing and things you were going through. You know what I'm saying? And like, damn, you know, I want to try this thing differently. You know, and only you know when you had enough.
Yep. Real talk. And that right there says a lot. Only you know when you had enough. When you had enough, then, you know what I mean, you'll pursue something different. You know what I mean?
Right.
You'll pursue something different. Well, let me see, man. This question right here is probably my favorite question, because it allows me to get an in-depth picture of your overall love from Albany. So what's your favorite place to go visit in Albany, and why?
My favorite place to go visit. It's not a lot now. I know what it was probably back in the day. Well, let's see. It's not a hard one, but it's when I was younger, it used to be the Peaks.
Okay.
When I was younger, but now my favorite place now to visit in Albany now would be. Dang.
I'm about to mess with you. I'm about to throw something at you, because I'm gonna tell you mine. Well, if you're talking about back in the days, it used to be the new courts. Brother, I lived for the new courts.
Well, see, now you bringing it. Now, you know what? The softball field.
Okay.
The softball field. You know why? And that whole area, definitely in the summertime. You knew. Even, you know, now you still get some of the field, but it's not where it was before. But I knew I can always go catch the Lawsons playing down there. I can catch Motown playing down there. I can catch you know, a lot of different family, and there was a lot of different family teams down there. You know, I know I can go down there and go to the green, to the what they used to call it, the
greenhouse. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It changed now, but you still get some of that feel. I used to love going to the softball field. And you know, we always went through there because the females were scoring.
Listen. I was about to answer it for you. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't giving you no square answer, no nothing. Listen, I lived for the new courts, not because I was going to go play no basketball, because I was coming to come see the ladies. And I'm just like, okay, who's out here tonight? But
right,
yeah.
and it was like a somewhat of a fashion show. You go down there, everybody dressed up. You know, you either walking across from the new courts or the softball field. You're gonna hear some nice music. People coming around. Like now, it's a big bike thing down there. So, but you know, you're gonna see them people doing wheelie on their bikes and stuff like that. And I like that feel, and I miss that. I miss, when we were younger, going to the Black Fest.
Yeah,
you know, it had some crazy times though down there. You know, between our different hoods and stuff like that. But you always going to the Black Fest. I'm about to go get me some fried dough. You know, I'm about to go. We about to go put on these outfits and walk through here for a couple hours.
Listen. You had to have a new outfit. You had to put together something that looked like it was new. You know what I mean? It was just like, and even at the Black Fest, man, it was just like, I'm in between both sides of town because I'm from uptown, but I got crazy dudes that I grew up with downtown too. So a lot of times I used to get caught in between, and it'd be like, yo, real man, you can't be trying to keep the peace all the time. I'd be like, well, listen, yeah, I can go after everybody else, but leave them alone. You know what I mean? Right. So you know what I mean. But yeah, I was going to Black Fest too, lady hunting. So he's like, yeah, but like anybody coming down here to come fight, man. Be like, yo, what's wrong with y'all? I'm coming down here. Hey, I haven't seen you before. So,
right.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it was definitely like I said, Albany's gonna get back to that feeling because it's a small community, and we can't do nothing but go up from where we are right now there in Albany. You know what I mean? I say we because I'm still directly invested in Albany, whether it's through property or family. And minus COVID, I'm typically there, a couple times a month. But and it's gonna get back, it's gonna get better. But unfortunately, sometimes you gotta see the worst of it to realize and then start channeling in like, yo, it wasn't always this way. Yeah, we always had scuffles. Yeah, it was always some beef between uptown, downtown, but it was never to the magnitude that it is right now, where it's just like it's just careless. It's like
I feel like, a lot of times they were saying like, it felt like it was a black cloud over our city, but I've never seen it, until now. This, like you said, this magnitude of how it is, I feel like it just took some of the heart of it out of it, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm hoping it does get back to where it was, although we had some issues then, but it was just seemed like it was a little more love and coming through the city.
Yeah. I believe it was. And I think I had Lawan Cancer on here a couple months ago, I grew up with them. So, Smurf, Juan, we all lived in the same house at one point. And it's just like, and I always loved tapping into him and his stories because it was like they grew up. You thought that during our time period it was still decent. They grew up in a time period where it was even more decent. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah, it's like, nah, it wasn't always like this, Ty. It wasn't always like this. You know what I mean? Right. And it'll get back there. As people have enough, like you said earlier, when you go through enough and you determine that you've had enough, you know what I mean? It's like, yo, you know what I mean? I'm gonna demand better. I want better. And I can't change everybody else, but it starts with me. And all you can do is be the best representation that you can be and hope that spreads and leads by example.
Exactly.
Yeah. I got a question for you. So this isn't for Mr. OMG. This is for Shawn Cooks. Thinking of your younger self, what is something that you wish someone would have taught the younger Shawn?
The younger Shawn, don't be a follower, man. You don't gotta go out there and just like I try to teach them now. Like, you don't have to do what the masses doing. That's what I felt like I had to be a part of. What I felt like I had to be a product of my environment of where I was from. I'm from uptown. You know, I rep uptown, and I felt like I just had to be out there and really put on for, like, you know, with the rest of my dudes and stuff like that. Of course, I didn't get into a whole lot, but I had my fair share. And somebody would have told me, like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do. You don't have to be a part of that. And maybe I did know I didn't have to be a part. I just felt like I had to be a part.
Yep.
You know, I felt like I had to. This is where if I didn't, I wasn't from the hood. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would tell my younger self. It's cool to be the square. It's cool to do other things. You know, that's what I tell my other self.
And I think a lot of it comes with like I know for me, like, my brother got locked up when I was going into 7th grade. So, like I said, I start running with everybody else that he was hanging with. And, for the most part, it'd be like, I look at like a Babe Boy or my man Butter and them. And it was like,
right.
You always end up having, like for me, I think I got spared a lot because I didn't have to do as much as everybody else. I was still intertwined. I didn't have to do as much because my brother had already developed a name for himself out there and be like, oh, that's dog, little brother. You know what I mean? But the other part of it was just that, being connected with people who are connected was also a major piece. And that was one of the things that I took on early. It was just like, once I started to realize that I had influence, it was just like, well, you know what? I can use my influence to help show some other people that, you ain't got to go at it totally this way either. I mean, we can still be connected. We can be intertwined, but at the same time, we can learn how to be afar too when we need to. You know what I mean? And it was just like, by the grace of God, I had some older people that I could look up to that, that were able to be protectors for me. And, I felt like it was my obligation to go back and do the same thing. That's why, like, when I first came home from school, I started Model, and I started the mentoring program I ran up there for 9 years. And it was just like, because, I'm still intertwined. I know everybody from the streets, fam. But at the same time, I can also show you that it's another way to navigate this whole thing, this whole community right here, man. And it was like, and if you want to do that, I can showcase that to you too. You want to get out of town? Let's get out of town. You want to go to New York? You want to go to San Francisco? You want to go to Baltimore? You know what I mean? Taking all of the kids to throughout these places, because exposure and consistency, I think, are the two biggest pieces that we need. And the more we get exposed to other things on a consistent level, it opens up our mind. It's like, wow, you know what? I could be just like Shawn. You know what? Wow, I could be just like Rel, and it'd be like, yo, it's other things other than these 4 blocks that we normally confine ourselves to. You know what I mean? So
that's what it is too. A big part is like, the world is that's another thing I tell them. The world is bigger than just the hood.
Yeah.
Because you be so captivated by what goes on in the hood, and that's what you will look up to, and that's what excites you when you see that it's bigger than just being on. It's bigger than just being like, I heard a song that used to do who said, like, we stuck on the Ave, like we stuck on the block like the Ave got parentheses. So we get so stuck into this let's just use Second and Judd. We get so stuck around that area that's all we see, and that's what the younger generation. Not to take nothing from it, I don't never knock them for if you love being like me. I love being from uptown. I mean, that's just where I'm from, and I grew up here. I came up here from the city, and then I grew up here uptown for the most part. But you don't have to. You ain't gotta die over. I'm not gonna try to hurt nobody over from being because they from another. I'm cool with everyone now.
Yeah.
And I tell when I was younger, they would speak to us and they say like, how does it feel? You can't walk around Albany so small, but you can't walk around the whole Albany freely.
Mm.
Like you have to look over your shoulder because you get caught in the wrong hood, or what I'm saying? It's like world is bigger than just this. You know what I'm saying? I think if you, like you said, if you're exposed to more, you see more, you want more.
Yeah.
You want more. You want more out of life because you see like, damn, that's dope. I went over here, and even with this program that I work with, exposing the kids to and taking them out of their norms is, a lot of time, pre-COVID, before, that this all came, we would like do a lot of participant events. That's what we call like, the individual that are part of our program. And, we try to expose them to, and a lot of things that they're doing for the first time, I'm doing it for the first time.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm like a kid with them, experiencing certain things. I never went ski snowmobiling. I did it with these kids, and it was like they thought it was kind of corny at first a little bit, but once they got into it and they see their friends is doing it, because a lot of times they don't want to do anything until they see their man's doing it or whatever, or they being a part of it. So it was like, I never went to we took the kids to see a basketball game, the Nets versus I forgot what it was, but we went to the Barclays. That was the first time I was going to. I'm like, I've never been to a basketball game, So a lot of things that you see it, like they experience more. I think that it changes your mindset. Changes your mindset, and even as an adult now, it's like, wow, I'm in awe with certain stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like, like you said, you're exposed to more. Your mindset will change, man. Really.
Yeah. I agree. I got one that I know is gonna hit home for you. One, because your connection, even through SNUG and outside of SNUG, with one of the people that we lost. But sadly, Albany has seen more and more violence, and our communities have experienced a lot of loss over the past few years. What changes would you like to see? What is your hope for the city, Mr. OMG?
Less violence, more, more programs for these kids, more outlets for them. You know what I'm saying? But the violence is really like at an all-time high. And I'm sure it's like that all over. But for my city, the violence is so reckless. If I can, I would love to see the violence reduced. I would love to see more activities for these kids to do. I mean, outside of this COVID thing, more programs popping up, bring more life back to this city.
Yeah.
I see more. They're starting to do a lot of rebuilding. It's coming. A lot of things is changing, but I think it could be more.
Okay.
Because everybody don't play basketball. Everybody so that's one outlet for them, but every one of them ain't interested in basketball. Yep. Try to meet these kids where they at, what really find out what really interests them. Maybe we could tap into that.
And what's crazy is that it maybe about at least 8 or 9 of the people I interviewed, everyone was just always talking about how many different community centers we used to have
that we don't have.
Yeah, and it's really, when you start to look at it, be like, you know what? It's crazy. It was a place that you can go to in every pocket, right? You know what I mean? You uptown, you can go up to Quail Street, you can go to Arbor Hill Community Center, you can go to St. Joe's. It was all types of stuff. You go downtown.
Even within a lot of these developments, they had the rec centers.
Yeah.
Like you had Adiabo, you had the rec center, or it was like a boys and girls club type thing. You had it within it. And then we don't have a lot of that today. We don't. You got to select a few places that you can go, and it's either you go here or you go all the way down to over there, and it's not as many centers like we used to have when we were young. We had a array of them. Even back, even summer programs, certain things we had. I still remember the Music Mobile.
Music Mobile was dope.
You know, I still remember you know. You know, as corny as that song used to go, I do the
come
song.
along and sing along, come along,
Sing
something with the Music Mobile.
You know, so that was, you know, we had a lot of that. We had, you know, a lot like that. That was being one thing, like just doing the arts and crafts, or you had, you know, this little summer program where people really actually worked in these parks that were really dope parks that it would, you know, we look forward to doing certain things. You know, we don't have much of that now. You know, it's a lot of that is they don't know what the heck a Music Mobile is now. You know what I'm saying? You know.
Yeah. Yo, I mean, you had the Music Mobile, you had Bike Man be down there.
You had Bike Man right by Stewart's.
Down there by Stewart's. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, yo, listen, it's like, yo, all you needed was a couple of pieces of a bike. I mean, like, yo, listen, he can come bring this bike to life for me, and now I'm riding. I'm good. You know what I mean?
And you know how go ahead. I'm sorry.
What was Fam's name up on Clinton and North Lake? I think it was like Aslan and them peoples. The white guy, Mr. Tim.
Something with a T. Ted, not Ted.
Yeah, it was Ted.
Ted used to.
I think so.
Yeah, Ted used to. The white guy.
Yeah.
He used to fix people's bike. You can take your bike up to Ted's. Yeah.
And it's like there were so many places, man. It's just like, where are all of the places? Where are all of the people? You know what I mean? And it was just like, because they made a difference. You know what I mean? It made a difference. You know what I mean? And it wasn't always so excluded. But safety is a major issue. It's just like, you also didn't have random shootings and people coming to come visit their kids and getting shot in the neck. You didn't have that stuff.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Be like,
it was more. I think it was a lot more safe zone back then. You know, there was certain things, certain places that you wouldn't really catch some of that violence going down at, because it was like either you were scared of the police patrol around that area, it was too hot, or you just like, you know what, I can see you somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that it was a lot more was going on, you know, within, you know, the groups too. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays it's just really reckless. There was a time that, at least me, I know a lot of times I snuck and did things. You know, I was raised by a grandmother that was from the old school, so you know I had to sneak and jump into the streets and stuff like that. I mean, after a certain age, she couldn't do anything. You know, there was always like fear of consequence. You know, like I'd be doing certain things and I see Mrs. Such and Such or Mr. Such and Such that was a friend of the family, and you know, let me straighten up. If I'm cursing out there cussing, you know, I say, oh, excuse me, Miss Such and Such. You know, but nowadays it's like because I feared them going back telling my my grandmother, or you know, I don't want to be caught down bad. You know what I mean? So, and I fear what my grandmother do. I ain't want to hear that, or you know, or feel it. Either or, you know what I'm saying? So that's not, I'm gonna keep it all the way 100, you know. I didn't want to, so I you know, I respect it. I held a level of respect, but at the same time, now in this era, you know, you see a kid, you know, catch him in the wrong, and you know, you at one point used to get chastised a kid. Nowadays, like Miss Such and Such see whatever his name, he or she is, and oh, you need to stop that. Now they like, you know, excuse my, you know, bitch, this or be that, like mind your business. And then sometimes you're taking it home to the family. I mean, to the parent is like, why you screaming at my son, or why you screaming? Why you know? I mean, I know there's always a way about doing things. Definitely when it comes to, you know, kids and, you know, the way you know, you interact or you try to tell them to do something or whatever. But it's like these kids don't have no fear of that, you know. They don't have no fear of somebody telling them something that, you know, they really curse that person out, you know, for trying to put them in the right, you know, down the right way. You know, nowadays that I see that is like it just seemed like lost. Like I can't, that was really not unheard of, but it was like, it was less of that when we were younger, We did what we did. We did some sneaky stuff, and we may have
definitely had to sneak it. So listen, I'm coming home, and I think at the time, by the time I was really out there active, we were living up on Judson anywho. But it was like the closer I got home, it was time to tuck your flag in. It was time to go hide something else somewhere. And it was just like, because, like you said, you didn't want to see your grandmother, and I didn't want to go see my mother because my mother could sniff it out. I'll be on the other side of town and somehow she can sniff it out. What I mean? Still to this day, if it'll be me, Raekwon, my cousin Jock, and maybe my cousin Nick, and they'll still make fun of me, and they'd be like, "Yo, Rel, remember we used to be like at one point we used to live on 342 3rd Street, but we were all the way on the corner of 3rd and Judson, right? And I'm still telling everybody to shh, because my mom could hear you, right? And they'd be like, yo, Rel, yo, we ain't nowhere near your house. And they'd be like, you over there like, shh. Yeah. So for years they would make fun of me. They'd be like, Rel, shh, she can hear you, right? You know what I mean? But we're missing that though. That level of respect, that level of, is certain things that you just couldn't do around other things. And I tell people that all the time. It's just like a lot of the shooters that's a lot of the shooting that's going on right now is like these young men are going home to places that are they're being welcomed at. Like I said, we had to sneak it. It's like I'm not trying to bring none of that there. I want to have this conversation with you. Who I am and what I'm trying to be out there is not what I'm going to be bringing in here. So it's just crazy, man. Yeah.
Definitely, so that's another thing that's just missing, there ain't a lot of big mamas, and not to say that every kid, don't get me wrong, every kid that's out there that's doing whatever they doing, not saying that every family members could, every parents could do it, because a lot of times you have kids that jump into the streets and they're one way at home, as we were one way at home, and then another way in the streets, and you might have a parent that they might be a single mother and they're working to take care of 2-3 other kids, and so they don't know what's going on. They still trying to stay above water, check trying to keep things in order for their kids, that they don't really notice what's going on with this kid. And I've seen a lot of kids where I've caught them doing certain things, or made this, and I say, listen, I know your mother, but you ain't raised like that. I know your father. I grew up with your father. I know you. They ain't raised you like that. Why you out here acting like that? You know what I'm saying? But it's just a little bit more still more wild with these young individuals.
Okay. I'm with you 100%. Let me see. How did growing up in Albany prepare you for adulthood?
To the streets. Definitely growing up around College Street. I grew up around C Block, so it prepared me for adulthood in a different way. Maybe not the most fun, but being out there, going through the struggles, the challenges, that I went through. How can I say, like, I had to gain a sense of responsibility, the things that I did, and going through the things I did, I had to learn how to, own up to what I've done, grow. It helped me to grow, that young kid that was little Shawn or little whatever you want to call me then, like, set me up for the person that I was becoming, or that I had to grow into, what I'm saying? Like, my trials and tribulations would be, if I'm answering your question right.
No. Yeah, I think you did.
The trials and tribulations is what made me, because you know, like I said earlier, did I want to go through a lot of things I went through? Of course not, you know. But I think back and I see the things that I went through. It made me a stronger person. You know, I know how to take certain. I can take. You know, I know how to have tough skin. You know, with certain situations and stuff like that because I went through certain things.
Yep.
You know, I know how to. It helped me to be a man that can, you know, help another young person. You know, because I went through it, so whatever I went through, I could share with this person. That you know, you have a lot of people that sometimes you have people that come and try to tell you how to, you know, things that you need to be doing or try to supposedly help you, but they don't know your struggle. You know, they don't know what you've been through, so they haven't walked in your shoes, so it's not easy receptive. You know, it's not easy accepted. You know what I'm saying? They're not receptive to what you're saying because you don't know what they've been through. But you know, I've been through certain things and I can relate to it. And being a grown man now has helped me to be able to deal with it with the job that I do now.
All right, let me see what else I got for you. If you had $1 million to invest in building a community resource in Albany, how would you spend it?
$1 million. I would put it definitely into. I would definitely put, like even with this job that I do here, even if I didn't work anymore, I would definitely put money into it because I see this program work all over the state. Because we have there's 11 sites throughout the state. It's not just here. It's Rochester, Buffalo, Gibson, Syracuse, Staten Island. Long Island. You know, down in the 5 boroughs as well. So I would definitely. This will be one of the biggest places that I would definitely support and put money. I would definitely try to get more centers back open.
Yeah.
Try to knock down a lot of these abandoned houses, these eyesores.
Yeah.
You know, I would definitely try to put resources, try to bring back that old, you know, moment, so to speak. You know, I would, open up more community centers for kids, or you know, like I said earlier, get an idea of what these kids are really interested in doing, because we could put out many different programs that we may think, you know, that will help, but we gotta get the community, you know, gotta get their involvement, see what they want, because it's not gonna help anybody. That's not something that they're interested in. Nobody's gonna want to be a part of it. So you have to see what the community wants. I would try to tap into what's going on, what the community thinks they need more, you know, and get with the right people, whatever organization it is. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm saying a big part of this organization because I see it work, and you know, outreach work is like real, you know, really needed.
Yeah.
But I would go with many different organizations, you know, that I see fit, that the community, you know, I got a voice back from the community about, you know.
Okay. Yeah, and it's so many different pockets, right? Like I remember when they first built that state of the art studio downtown, right where a recycling center used to be.
What part of downtown? Oh, County Waste? Not that far.
No. This is right by Phillip Street. It's right by Phillip Street. It used to be a recycling building.
Not Youth FX.
That might have been it. It might, because inside there it's a studio.
Right.
Well, it used to be.
Right. Okay. They help with I know right now they have a Youth FX there and they help with teaching videography and stuff like that.
Yeah. Okay.
And I know we partner with them many times, like, you know, taking the kids that, you know, that are into making videos and, you know, movies, rap, videos, and stuff like that, tapping on that, and not to get off the topic, but that's one of the biggest things now with these young kids is rapping and stuff. So
Yeah.
you know, we try to see if we can tap into that with them, but on a more of a positive level, you know,
Yeah.
not where someone's talking about smoking the next person, smoking the dead, or, you know, SMD this or this, which that, you know, more positive, you know, but,
Yeah.
yeah, but that is, yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's Youth FX.
Okay, but yeah, just having, like you said, different outlets, because none of us are gonna fit into one idea or to one interest. So it's
Right.
like, but you need multiple different outlets. So it's like, you know, I knew where I could go to be able to get what I wanted at that time. You know what I mean? If I wanted to go play ball, you know, I knew I can go here. You know what I mean? If I wanted to go play chess, I knew I can go here. If I wanted to box, I knew I can go here. You know what I mean? So it's like you need those different pockets so that you have a place for the younger generation to really carve out who they're gonna be. But if there's no place to go, it's like, what are we expecting? Like yeah. So I'm with you on that, man. It was like I would invest a lot more money into those community centers again, organizations like the one you work for with SNUG, because it makes a difference. And you know what I mean, it makes a difference alleviating some of the pressures that parents have to endure by themselves sometimes, because we used to be a community where, you know what I mean, you know, yo, you happen to see my kid, you know what I mean? You say, nah, hey,
Right.
slap you inside the head. It's like, nah, I know your father. He's like, nah, he
Yeah.
ain't going for that. And you
Right.
looking at, but you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that's just it. It's just like, yo, you know, we have to get to a level of trust and vulnerability with one another, living in a place. Albany is so dope because it's a small place. It's like a lot of people shun small cities, right? But yo, you can really identify who you want to be, and you can really shine and star in a small city as compared to a place like where you came from originally, right?
Right.
To be
Right.
like, yo, you know what, yo, it's a lot easier to make connections and build with different people, and it not be on a broader level. So like, there's a lot of positives of being in the small towns. What is where I'm getting at, and Albany. I can't wait for us to flourish again. Flourish.
And I definitely want to like bring attention to like one individual. There's many individuals, like, you know, like from way back in the day, Cook was like,
Yep.
with him and the people for the teen nights, man.
Yep.
I looked forward to going to teen night, you know, on the weekends, you know, every other week or whatever the case may be. They did that for years, and you know, that kept a lot of kids off the streets. You know what I'm saying? And you know, he was still doing it, you know, recently too. You know, it got moved from the places it was at, but you know, that floors, and now you got Hood, Jamel Hood, shout out to him too, because he's definitely he took the Norman Chapman Center from First Street that was like, you know, it was still open, but people wasn't like, nobody was really giving it the attention that it really needed. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's like a gym there. It's not a gym as far as like a gym to play in, like a gym, like a stone. That was like something is in the community right there. All it needed was some work, and he, you know, he helped him and, you know, Norman and them, they did wonders with it now. They you know, they renovated it. It's really nice in there. It's a great gym, you know what I'm saying? It was, you know, it's like, it makes, and to go in there and see how the way it looked from the way it looked before, it's like, wow, like, you know, he's trying to start, you know, he's, you know, he has his kids come through there, you know, it gave it life. It gave something, and that's what I want to see with, you know, with Albany. Just give it back that life. Not to say that we don't have no life now, but it's just not,
what it used to be.
It's not what it used to be, yeah. And I think that's what we just need that back out there. You need that out there, you know.
Okay. Listen, man, I got a couple more questions for you. I'm gonna let you go.
Okay.
Here's a dope one though. I think. What about your life's path are you most proud of, Mr. OMG?
My transition.
From all right, describe it for me.
All right. You know, from being a knucklehead and growing, you know, like like I was just always going. If you didn't see me for a while, pretty much know where I was at. Back and forth, you know, the back and forth to prison. You know, when I changed that, that's when I really like changed my life. That changed my life. Changing my thinking like that, I can't keep doing this. Like I said, you don't know, only you know when you got enough. You know, keep it in your head. You're gonna keep it in your head. You know, so changing my way of thinking helped to change my life. You know, you know, I'm not perfect now. You know, I have my ups and downs, and I have the things that I you know, my vices and the things that I deal with that I'm still working on because I'm still I'm under construction. You know,
Yes,
I'm a work in progress. You know what I'm saying? So, but changing the way I thought. You know, what mattered to me before don't really matter to me now. What interests me a lot back then don't really interest me now, and that's when I changed that. That's what helped me to transition into the person that I was becoming. A better me, because I always had it. You know, I always had it in me. You know, I wasn't a dumb dude. Even I made dumb choices, stupid choices, but you know, I had it in me to be the man I am now. You know, I just had to tap into that. You know, I had people that as I grew older, as I came on, that seen the potential in me, that said, you know what, bro, I see something in you. Even at Albany housing, like I have the lady, Chiquita DR, bro. I'm not sure if you're familiar with her, but she's the head of house.
Yep, I heard of her.
And when I started, Chiquita was human resources. You know, and that was, you know, like 7 years ago. But when I started, but a little over 6 years. So and like I sit and talk to her now, and and like she said, you know, to see the progress in me in the way, you know, for me growing from the person that I was when I first came here, you know, she seen something in me that she took a liking to me, and she sees like she's, you know, seen someone that they wanted to give a chance to. And that's what I think what a lot of these kids is too. They don't give themselves a chance. And you have people that's out there that see something in you that want to give you that shot. And I think that, you know, a lot of them will surprise you. You know, they just have to need someone to tap into that for them.
It's the truth.
Sometimes we see potential in other people that they don't see in themselves. You know, and
most times.
Yeah. A lot of times, you know, I see potential in, you know, outside of the, you know, the little knucklehead stuff that, you know, they do or the stuff they get themselves in. I see something because you may just see it for a glimpse of what the person really can be, whether it's just that they let their guard down, or they was you know, they wasn't around no friends and they really was them, and you like, damn, like you got it in you, you know, and we need to just tap into that. So with me was, as far as your original question, I took beer from it, like it was my way of thinking that helped me to change to the person or that I'm going in now. Was biggest part was my way of thinking. You know, like like you say, like they say, if you change your thinking, you can change your life, and that's what pretty much it is. Because no matter what, how much you want to change, if you still got the same type of thinking and thinking that you're gonna still continue to do the same thing and get different results, you know what they say that is
insanity.
Exactly. So
yeah, man. Like I said, man, people underestimate how powerful our minds are, and it's just like, you know, a lot of times we're feeding this stuff to ourselves, and it's just like say, oh, you know, I'm not smart, or you know, I'm not gifted, or you know, I can't do this, or you know, I look a certain way. It's just like, listen, man, when you stop giving yourself the rhetoric, you know what I mean, and stop telling yourself what you can't do, you'll start giving yourself an opportunity to learn what you really can do. And we're some really gifted people.
Exactly. I do have a question for you, but I can wait.
All
right. So for you, like you saying, or I look a certain way and I can't do this or I can't do that. Remember, you worked down at the courthouse in the court division.
Yep.
Now, I don't know if I had this talk with you, and I don't want to misquote you or anything like that. I had asked you why you cut your hair.
Okay.
And I think I was saying, like you said, you wanted prove that you can get into, because you had it when you got to working down there.
Get out of here. We had this conversation.
Yeah, we had this conversation because I hadn't seen you in a while, and I was like, I don't know if I probably was away on one of my vacations, and I was like, bro, you don't got what happened to the locks? What happened to the dreads? He's like, I don't got them no more, you know. But he was like, I just wanted to prove that you can still something with getting into the position where you was at and still having them, and then you transition on it. You know, you cut them, but I don't know if I'm mixing it up or whatever.
No, you ain't mixing it up.
Something to that extent.
You are not mixing it up. You are spot on with it. And when I first when I graduated, I ended up working for Mediation Matters, and I ended up having an office down at Family Court, and I had an office up at our main site up on Russell Road. I think it was Russell Road. But for me, it was just like, even before I came out of school for undergrad, it was just like everyone kept telling me, it was like, oh, you know, you're going to need to cut your hair. You're going to need to cut your hair. It's like, nobody's going to take you seriously. Nobody's going to do this. And it was like, me, you know, I'm a bit stubborn sometimes. You know what I mean? It's just like, well, if I got to cut my hair for a place to like me, you know, that's not the place for me anywho. You know what I mean? So for me, when I came home, it was just like, well, listen, you know, I'm going to get a job looking the way that I feel comfortable with, so that way I can be comfortable with me. Mm-hmm. Right. And so I came home, I still had dreads. Like I said, I got the job that at the time that I wanted, and it was like, and I felt like I was making a difference. Like, I would walk to work. I would walk from Judson down to the courthouse every day, and then my sister would pick me up when it was time to go to my other office or whatever. But you know, and I wanted everybody to see me. It's like, you know, listen, I'm dressed up in a suit or slacks or whatever, and dreads. I'm walking through the same. I know all of these blocks, literally. And it was just like, you can go in here and do that. I'm working with all of the judges, all of the lawyers, everybody down here with my dreads. And I'm just like, I told myself, I had accomplished what I set out to do. And it was just like, you know, a lot of times people will look at a person who looks a particular way and believe that they know everything about you. And it was just like, you know, so I had to change, in my mind, other people's mindset of what they thought I was when you see me. So now it's like, yeah, oh, that is Tyrell, the kid with the dreads, but that kid is actually articulate as hell. It was like, yo, he'll, you know what I mean? He can have a conversation with you about everything, you know what I mean? And be like, yo, so when I did that, I ended up cutting it when I turned 21. So that's what I did. That was for my 21st birthday. I cut my hair off. I still got my locks too. I still got them. Still to this day. You know what I mean? I've always been too scared after reading that story in the Bible of Samson and Delilah. So, you know, I still got my locks. I cut them when I turned 21, and it was just like, because I felt like I did everything that people told me a person that looks like me couldn't do. Yeah, you know, I got kicked out of high school, and I still was able to go ahead and finish up at night school. I left Albany. I went to Charlotte. I graduated damn the top of my class down in Charlotte, North Carolina from the HBCU. It was like, wow, you know, I lived in Africa. I did all of these things that someone who used to hustle, someone who got kicked out of school wasn't supposed to be able to do, quote unquote. And it was just like, me cutting my hair was also a part, like you said earlier, transition. It was a part of my transition too. So I had to let go of some of the things that I was allowing. I was allowing myself to be limited by. And I was like, now I'm about to walk into a whole new level of professionalism for me, not because anybody else. And, you know, that's when I started going through the process to open up Motto. And it was just like, it was just a whole new phase for me and my transition on my own terms. But that's what it was.
Yeah, I remember that. So I definitely wanted to point that out. Yeah, I didn't know if I had the story exactly right, but I do remember us having that conversation.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. That's dope. Yeah, man. But yeah, that's definitely it. And that's the thing, man, because, you know, and I've told people on previous interviews, it's like, my younger self, I used to be scared of being positive, right? Because I thought that I was gonna lose my authenticity, and I never wanted to lose my authenticity. Even now, as a 37-year-old, it's like I don't never want to lose my authenticity. So I'm never gonna sell out. I'm never just gonna be doing things just for the sake of trying to get likes or get attention. I'm gonna be intentional behind everything that I do. So you know what I mean? It was just like, yo. So you know what I mean? When you get to that point of realizing that you've beaten everybody else, you've beaten all of the naysayers. The only person you're really in competition with is yourself. You know what I mean? And then it's like, okay, let's get to work.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. But let me see. Here's my second to last question for you, Mr. OMG. Are there any resources, apps, books, podcasts, people that you follow on social media that motivate you? What are you looking? What are you looking at? What are you reading? What inspires you?
Inspires me. I have you probably familiar with her. She does she was doing she has many different hats, but she's one of the women that like helped me get into the things that I really want to do with the modeling. LaQuisha Rucker.
Okay.
Q Diamond.
Yep.
Now, she inspires me actually because of that she wears so many hats, that she comes from the same, walks of life that I did, and she's an intelligent businesswoman. She's helped run the modeling shows that were very successful. Each year that they had them. She does book clubs. She does and now she's doing this insurance thing. Forget the name of it or whatever. But she's a very inspirational person that I really like admire. I admire her because she's straightforward. She knows how to handle herself in the room, and she's a big person. Well, besides the people that I work with, but as apps, or you said books?
Yeah, apps, books, podcasts.
Well, now it will be yours.
That's what I'm talking about.
I did before. I didn't know, that you had a podcast prior to you mentioning it to me. I did that a little bit after we talked, and I did, like, I seen the other work and see things you were doing, but I looked more into. I seen a couple of your podcasts, and I was like, and I seen a few of the people, and I was like, well, I didn't even know these people were on this. It was like not a hidden thing, but I didn't know it. I didn't know of it. You know what I'm saying? And I admire you. I admire what you do too, bro. And you're someone to look up to as well, because not you come from the same mud, and not only that, but it's that you don't live here anymore.
Yep.
But you're still, like you said, you're invested here. Whether for whatever reason you didn't just leave and like, okay, well, I come back, I visit here and there, whatever. Like, no, you still keep that heart of Albany with you. And we were in DC, Maryland.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So over there, and like you still, like, you show that I'm over here, but I'm Albany.
Yep.
Like so it's like you carrying the city, on your back wherever you go, and you showing what it is, and you got so much love for where you're from. So that's dope. Some people like leave and they forget about where they came from, or it's like, what, I'm done with that because of the situation we're in now, like where so much violence and stuff like that. I'm glad I'm never going back there. I don't want to go back, as opposed to like someone like you was saying, like, nah, I came from that. Like, I want to see better, and anything I can do, I will see. I'm going to try to, and I want to shed light on what my city really is, and show the good out of it. And you know, and I think that's dope. I think that's dope. So it's definitely shout out to you, someone really following, and I think that more people should. I don't know how many people following that, but more people should definitely follow that.
Okay.
You definitely put on.
Hey, listen, brother, I truly appreciate it. Albany is a huge part of me, and it always will be. And it's just like no matter where I'm at, for whatever reason, is always trying to figure out how I can tie back in to the hometown. And I know for years, like even before I moved away for good, it was like, I mean, I would have people travel with me every year. I bring them down to Charlotte with me. Like, yo, we getting out of here, fam. It's like, listen, we make too much money. You got too much experience. Let's get up out of here. Every year I used to bring like 8 or 9 people with me down to Charlotte. That's way before everybody started migrating to Charlotte now for years. We're like, yo, we going to the CIAA. They were like, oh, shit. So, once Albany caught on to it, I have been advertising this thing for years. And I'm just like, yo, so it's dope to see how many people live in Charlotte now. And everybody always be like, yo, Real, how you always telling us about Charlotte? You got us down here and you don't live down here. Like, cause my wife ain't letting me move back to Charlotte. It's like, you got too many bodies in Charlotte. So, you know what I mean? But yeah, man. So it's always love for Albany, man, because like I said, it made you who you are. It made me who I am, the good, the bad, the ugly. And I really want I want the city and I want the people in Albany to realize that we are far greater than what we allow ourselves to be limited to. And it's up to us to do it. I don't like excuses. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, do the best that you can, just being the best example. So shout out to you. And I think that you actually answered my last question I was going to ask to you anywho, because I think you might have hit it already with Miss Rucker. I was going to ask you, I said, well, I always ask my interviewees, who is one person you would recommend for me to interview next?
Miss Rucker.
There you go.
Miss Rucker, also known as Q Diamond, but
Yep.
She's dope. She's dope. She's a great woman. She put on, man, and it's like I've seen many strong women. I watched my grandmother. And she was one of the strongest women I know. A lady with a 4th grade education, holding down a whole family. Her kids ain't grandkids. You know what I'm saying? And she's gone now, but still in the essence she's here. But Q is very dope. She's very intellectual. She's smart, ambitious, goal driven. She opened something in me as well when I came home and I wanted to get into a little bit of the modeling thing. And she made a way. She opened that door for me, to allow me to showcase my talent or something that I want to do. And that was another thing, like tapping into, as I grow and doing the things that I want. I really was starting to do things that I really wanted to do. I sat up in prison for all them years and was like, what, I think I want to get into modeling. I think I want to do that when I'm working out, and I'm like, I want to get into modeling. And it was like, all right, now when I got out here, it's like I did do a local show. I did it at a place that I worked at. I was cleaning floors at night for environmental services, and I cleaned floors at they had a contract with SUNY Albany. So the ASA, which is the African Student Association, was doing they was doing tryouts, like auditions, and it was just, I was in the campus area. It was me and Quizzer, me and Quan, and we worked there. So we was in the campus center just sitting waiting for the kitchen to clear out so we could do the floors at night. And they was giving away flyers for it, and then they went to get me one. I'm like, I don't go there. I'm sorry, I don't go there. So she she went to ask someone else, oh, do you think that people that don't go here can try out? And she was like, sure. So I ended up doing it. It was dope. It was something that opened me up, and someone else to really give me a outlet for it was Quisha, you know what I'm saying? And each year I always went to the next one that that she had. But other than that, she's a real dope person, and she would have way more what I had to say, you know.
No, yours was good. Yours was good, and I'm gonna leave you with this because I really do think that the modeling piece helped with your transition, right? So right before you asked me the question about me cutting my hair, I promise you, I was about to ask you. I said, I was gonna say, to be honest, I think that the modeling piece helped you too, because it was just like, the older we get, the more we learn how to be confident in our own skin, and it doesn't gotta look the way how we thought it had to look. I'm just like So I remember you getting out here and starting to do your modeling joint. I was like, my boy came home like this, bloop, 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 bloop. So you know what I mean? It'd be like you, Zoe Verbal, and all these dudes, and it was like, I think it was also a major confidence booster. But it also just like it helped you to realize that there's a whole nother lane just for you. You know what I mean? And it was like the tip of the iceberg. So shout out to you for taking that whole transition and turning it into a family, turning it into a business, and turning it into a life, because you are a success story to me, brother. And I wish nothing but continued success for you and the family. And I'm rooting for you.
I appreciate that, man. It's been great. I'm a family man. I'm completing certain goals that I have set for myself. I enjoy being, in the streets with my community and trying to, show a different way from a different lens. I've been in, not to drag it on, but it's the modeling part has opened me up definitely with my confidence and getting out there and put myself out there and doing something that I really enjoy, and getting support from it. You know what I'm saying? With my job, I'm networking. I meet different people that from different walks of life. I done been in galas with judges that prosecute that sentence me, and it's like it feels good to be on the other end,
Ain't that some shit?
I was at a gala for SNUG, and I'm like, dang, this guy, familiar. I'm saying it to myself. I'm like, this dude looks familiar, but I'm thinking more of like a DA or a attorney or something like that. And he ended up mentioning his name. He's like, I'm Judge O'Keefe. I was like, and I explained who I was, and I wasn't ashamed of it. I was like, well, I think you sentenced me in my past, but it felt good, that I don't feel like I'm way down here anymore. I'm not saying that I'm there where we're at, but it feel like, if I didn't tell you that, you wouldn't have knew. It's like you look at me the way in a different light, and it feels good to be looked at in a different light where someone ain't looking down on you because of your past.
Nice. Hey, listen, man. I'm gonna say it again, brother. I'm absolutely proud of you, Mr. OMG. Keep putting on for the city. Keep putting on for your family, but most importantly, keep putting on for yourself, because there's so many gifts and jewels that you have started to tap into, and I'm sure you still got a lot more to give and build upon. But back community, thank you to Mr. OMG, Mr. Floss himself. Thank you for extending your time with us tonight, and I look forward to highlighting more of what you're going to be doing in the future, brother. Salute to you.
I'm still trying to live up to my name on my grind, Mr. OMG. So and I thank you for having me on here. Thank you for taking the time out, to talk to me, and it was great, man. I appreciate you, man, and keep doing the things that you're doing, man. You're doing big things, man. You shine a light on the city that you came from, and you just keep shining, brother.
Will do, man. I'll play catch up with you next time, my boy. Salute.
You all right? Salute to you, brother.